We're going to talk about some woke business because up at Cambridge University, as you might not be too surprised to know, the authorities are a little bit nervous about certain events that get put on, certain events that are planned. And we're going to speak now to Charlie Bentley-Astor, who's a student up at Cambridge University. She was hoping to put on a film up there, which of course was described as an anti-feminist documentary, right? And the campus judges, the people who run the place, decided that actually, oh no, it's far too controversial. One of the reasons they think it's controversial is that the author of the documentary, the man who made the documentary, once had an interview with Jordan Peterson, and Jordan Peterson rather liked what he did. And that was one of the reasons stated as to why, if there was to be a big demonstration against the showing of this film, they might have to cancel it. But let's have a look at Claire Fox. She is, of course, Baroness Fox, talking about this in the House of Lords.
I also hope that the soon-to-be appointed free speech champion might initiate a call for evidence so that we might assess which issues are prone to cancellation, the scale of the problem that often goes on behind the scenes, behind the traditional no-platform headlines. Only today, a student from St John's College, Cambridge, Charlie Bentley-Astor, contacted me because a film showing that she'd organised of a documentary, Birthgap, Childless World, has been cancelled. A campaign by certain student activists and Varsity magazine objected to the film's director, Stephen Shaw, who's flown over, by the way, from the US to speak at the event on Friday, because, shock horror, he appeared on a Jordan Peterson podcast. But that's all gist of the mill, and Miss Bentley-Astor defended her opponent's right to protest outside the film, because thankfully some students are liberal and believe in civil liberties. However, it was the college authorities who've now ruled that due to the mere threat of a demonstration, and despite the film organisers creating a detailed risk assessment and organising stewards, the college has now said, using the familiar, it's too disruptive and we're thinking of the safety of the attendees, they've called the film off. And therefore, I think sometimes the threat of civil action, something harder, is necessary. I also urge the government in that instance to make this legislation a real living instrument of free speech, not a box-ticking exercise for university managers. And I want to credit the noble Lord Mendoza, the Provost at Oriel, for recently hosting a Living Freedom event on the lessons we can learn from Locke and Milton for free speech, which was well attended by students, because that's the kind of thing we need, to be positive, not to whinge.
Indeed, that is the kind of thing we need. Baroness Fox there, who is a great supporter of free speech, much more so probably than many people inside the House of Lords. Let's talk now to Charlie Bentley-Astor, who is the student at Cambridge University, who's right in the midst of all of this. She wanted to screen this film, Birthgap, Childless World, a documentary which blames the pitfalls of feminism in a modern dating world, but instead of which she's found herself in the centre of a sort of cancel war. Charlie, very good afternoon to you. Thanks for coming on.
Afternoon, Mike.
So, tell us about the ins and outs of what happened, because I understand that now, finally, after sort of several goings backwards and forwards with the authorities, they've basically agreed that you can't put this thing on for fear of a sort of a demonstration that might be a bit noisy.
Yeah, exactly. And the ironic thing is that I think the college think the protest is going to go away, but the fact that we're not there, and I think it will definitely reduce in size. Yeah. But protesters will turn up and continue to make that same noise they were worried about to punish the college for inviting Stephen and I in the first place.
Right. And didn't they put the onus on you to sort of guarantee that there would not be a disturbance, which is kind of the wrong way round anyway, because all you want to do is show a film to some people who are presumably, I don't know if they're going to pay to see it, but are quite happy to go and look at something which might be a curious wanting from them, or it might just be because they're interested in something. But because another group has said, we don't want this film to be shown, and I don't know why they would say that, you're not able to show it.
Yeah, exactly. The tickets are free because I wanted any student that wanted to see the film to be able to. The college did put the onus on me to control the noise. Obviously, it's not my protest and not my noise. If it was my event, if I was hosting, you know, a gig or something, you know, a rave, I would understand that it's on me to make sure the noise doesn't cause disruption. But it's the students causing the disruption, and they asked me to be able to demonstrate how I was going to mitigate the noise of the protest, i.e. basically control the protest. But this protest is on a public street, and even the police have limited jurisdiction on protests.
I mean, surely Cambridge University can't demand that there are no protests around the public streets of Cambridge University at any time. I mean, it's not really within their gift, is it?
No, it's not, and I don't think I'd want the university to have that kind of jurisdiction. I think students should be able to protest anything they want to, but students are stopping other students, including myself and the students that were coming to see this film, from congregating, from listening to what we want to. So they're impinging upon our right to congregate and to speak.
And what is it in the film that they object to so much, these demonstrators? What are they complaining about?
Good question. I've asked. They won't give me a straight answer. They give it all the headlines. It's misogynistic, homophobic, bigoted, all of these things. Like I say, what about it in the film is homophobic? You know, what is misogynistic? And they can't answer. And so it's a bizarre set of circumstances, because none of the students have actually watched the film before they started, running their mouths off and screaming from the high hills.
Right. And we've just seen a couple of clips from it there. Stephen Shaw, the man who made it, talks about the fertility rate in the world going down. It's been shown at the Chelsea Film Festival in New York, which I presume is not particularly hard line. It's presumably quite a liberal film festival. So if it can be shown there, why can't it be shown at Cambridge?
Well, it's been shown twice there, which is pretty unheard of for that film festival. You don't get a repeat showing, a repeat award. It's beyond belief why students here if students don't want to see it, that's fine. They shouldn't stop other students from seeing it. But Stephen's gone all over the world to different universities with this film and had no issues. And staff here are reaching out to me privately, because they're nervous to say it publicly, but they're reaching out to me in their tens privately, expressing their outrage that this has been cancelled and that students and staff can't meet and associate however they want to.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things they said to you, I've got a statement here from them, is that we are in the midst of exams and it means the event will need to be postponed on this occasion because of the impact of significant noise on students revising in adjacent accommodation. Does that mean they're willing to let you show it at another time?
Well, this is the thing. Several factors in my interaction with the college make me believe that I could do this all again and they'd find another reason to not do it.
It does look a bit like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is Stephen was, the filmmaker, was getting on the plane when the college told me that they'd cancelled the event. He'd bought the tickets, booked the hotels. It's cost him thousands to come over here to speak to these students. And Stephen can't, understandably, this film is not funded by any big organisations. It's all fundraised, and so Stephen can't afford to make that thousands of pounds trip again to do this in a few months. And I'm not here in a few months. I'm done with my degree in the next few months. And so this was the opportunity, and it's been cancelled. Yeah.
Is there any chance you can show it somewhere else? I mean, would that be difficult as well?
Yeah. So that's the problem. Rearranging, it's taken months to get to this point, and we've essentially had 48 hours to find a new venue, and we haven't been successful. Stephen's luckily in the country for about another week and a bit, and so we're trying to find somewhere, even if it means we have to go to London to find a space. But we're determined that the students that wanted to see this film will see this film. We're doing everything to make sure that happens.
And what do you think it is about the modern student, as you are one yourself, which is so kind of snowflakery? Because, they don't want to see things that might upset them. They don't want to see things they don't agree with. I mean, what is wrong with them?
I wish I knew. I won't say what my suspicion is. Probably not for radio and TV. Yeah. But there is an intolerance towards ideas that don't suit your worldview, and university historically has always been the place where you go to have your ideas challenged. It's where you go to grow up, it's the halfway house between your parents' house and the real world. And so this is, historically students have been protesting against authorities to be able to do what they want and to say what they want and say heretical things and have people talk that otherwise don't get heard. And now it's the opposite. It's like the students are trying to get the authorities to crack down harder. Right. It's a complete inversion of the tradition.
And it is this kind of mad, I call it the torch outside Dracula's castle brigade. They just sort of run constantly for some kind of emergency, you know, and they wave the torches around and, you know, kill the witch. And it's almost like the witch trials of Salem back in the sort of, you know, centuries ago in America. It's very weird, and it's almost counter to educational requirements. You know, it's like, don't teach me this. I don't want to know about it.
Exactly. And it's a very bizarre set of circumstances because the majority of the protesters are from a sort of trans rights group.
Oh, there's a funny thing.
Within the university. And the film has nothing to do with trans people at all. It doesn't even talk about biological sex. You know, maybe the fact that the film is talking to women about fertility is maybe bringing some home truths that these protesters don't like. But, you know, with regard to the misogyny claim, it's the complete opposite. It's the empowerment of women. It's giving women information that is little known about fertility, about forming long-term relationships, about balancing career and motherhood. And this is coming from other women who have done it and been successful or failed and are feeling some, you know, grief or distress about it. And so it's in female empowerment. It's not anti-feminist.
No. Well, I hope you find somewhere. Maybe as a result of being on here, somebody will offer a venue for you over the next week or so. Let's hope so. Charlie, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Charlie Bentley-Astor, student at Cambridge University, where, of course, learning has become a thing of the past. They don't want to learn anything at Cambridge. They want to go in with their own fixed ideas. They don't want to hear what your ideas are, and they just want to keep their own ideas and talk to other people who've got the same ideas as them. Doesn't sound very educational to me, does it? This is talkTV.